Good morning, students. I hope you all are safe and fine at home. We have started the chapter 5, the modern empire, and we had discussed till Ashok's accession. So, open your book, page number 79. Today, we will discuss about the Kalinga War and its effects. Okay, so let's start. Ashoka was very ambitious king. He wished for victory in all direction. For that, he decided to war with Kalinga. Kalinga was an independent state on the border of his vast empire, which he had inherited. Inherited means to got or to get from his ancestors. Okay, so Kalinga, that is modern Odisha. The reasons why Ashoka conquered Kalinga were as Kalinga was a powerful kingdom. It controlled the routes of South India by land and sea. Means it was very important by the location, and we can say for the good contacts in the south. So it was very important. It could bring prosperity to the Mauryan Empire. Digvijay was Ashoka's policy. Digvijay means he decided for victory in all directions. Fifth is he could not tolerate the idea of an independent kingdom on the borders of his empire. Means he could not feel that any kingdom nearby him is independent or is not under him. Thus, Ashoka invaded Kalinga in 261 BC. Means he attacked in 261 BC. The Kalingans gave a tough fight. Means the Kalingans were also very strong and they fought very bravely and they had a very tough fight. But they were ultimately defeated. At last, they defeated. From the Rock Addict 13, Ashoka inscribed the events on the large rocks. He has inscribed on 14 rocks at different places. So they were named as Rock Addicts, and on Rock Addict 13, it is mentioned that in Kalinga War, 1 lakh people were killed and 1,50,000 were wounded and made prisoners of war. So we can say that it was a large massacre that affected so many people. So let us study about the effects of Kalinga War. As Ashoka rode in triumph to inspect his new territory, means when Ashoka traveled first time after his victory in the new territory, he saw the thousands of dead and wounded soldiers lying there. The sight of bloodshed and massacre means killing of a large number of people. It can be any way, it can be through war or it can be through any disease or any other tragedy. That is known as massacre. After seeing the massacre of human lives, stunned and horrified him. Means after seeing so many dead people and their blood and harm of human life, he was extremely shocked. The sorrow of wailing women and children were unbearable to him. Wailing means crying with pain. The women and children were crying with pain, with sorrow, was very touching to his heart, and he rode through the streets. Each brought about a great change in him. He vowed never to make war again, means he promised that he would never fight again or he would never make a war again. He increased his faith in Buddhism and he decided to devote the rest of his life to the spread of dharma, means to the spread of Buddhism. He became the first emperor in the history of world to give up war after victory. Thus the Kalinga War, 8 years after he was crowned king. 8 years after becoming king, a turning point came into his life, that was the War of Kalinga. He became one of the noblest of kings history has ever known. Means he was very noble and he became very kind towards the humanity. Ashoka gave up his imperial policy of conquest. Imperial means related to his empire, and adopted the policy of Dharam Vijay, means he started spreading the Dharam in all the directions. He began to devote his attention to the spread and protection of Dharma, means he started giving his attention towards the Buddhism. He gave special attention to the welfare of his people. However, having given up this policy of conquest, it weakened the martial spirit of his people and they became prey to foreign attacks. Prey means victim, martial spirit means the spirit of war. So the people under him started afraiding for the foreign attacks and they even felt weak, that how could they bear the foreign attacks. Okay, next is Ashoka become a Buddhist. 2.5 years after the Kalinga War, Ashoka became a faithful and devotee Buddhist. To him, Buddhism was a religion of love and ahimsa. He studied the Buddhist scriptures and made Upagupta his guru. Scriptures is the sacred writing of a religion. Ashoka joined the monastic order but did not renounce the world or his kingship. Monastic order means resembling life in monastery. So he joined the, or we can say he started living the life as in monastery, but he did not left his kingship. He tried to set the houses of Buddhists in order by making rules for monks and nuns. Or we can say that Ashoka tried to set a new way of living for the Buddhist monks and nuns. Monks and nuns, we can say the Buddhist priests. He devoted himself to the spread of Buddhism in India and abroad. He also spent the rest of his life in caring for welfare of his people and in teaching them how to lead a good life through his dhamma or dharma. Both dharma and dhamma is one and the same thing. So I think for today this much is enough. Further we will study Ashoka's dharma and how he served for Buddhism. So till that, thank you.